Good night. This is the Cutting Edge, and I refer there with you. And next Wednesday. Yes, so this is the week in 1963 where one of the most cruelest atrocities that has ever been done to Jamaicans was done in 1963. And that caused a stigma. And even though the stigma was there before, but it was made more pronounced when the government of Jamaica decided that anybody caught with ganja, even a seed, would be given 18 months, mandatory, 18 months. So for your catch with ganja, it could have been an ounce, 2 ounces, 1 seed, you're gone to prison for 18 months. And then we'll have a next law too. The next law is that you can't stay in a prison with no locks. You have to cut off your locks. Them have to cut it off. Yes. Yes, it's a serious thing. You couldn't stay in a prison with locks. So it's a whammy. It's a double whammy pan Rasta. Because the government at the time decides, them think the pandemic look terrible. And what that them a pandemic? Dreadful looking thing that. Those the dreadlocks. But the ganja was made mandatory 18 months because of that incident that took place in 1960. Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. You know, we started a tune a while ago, a brand new tune by Bushu Banton. You know, we have been playing it from last week. We're going to start it again. Bushu Banton, Country for Sale, Bully Pipe Gone. Bushu Banton, they on the musical track again. First, you know, we have a next tune here too. I think I forget to ask the next tune there though. We have a next tune there though. Alright, we're going to find it later, but yeah, I'm on the right track, start out on the right track. We give thanks for that. Okay, so we want to talk to, at 11 o'clock, we're going to talk to Pamela Williams, otherwise known as Sister Nanny. She's the secretary for the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society. And you know, this strong started on Friday is a double whopper in the Rastafari community, double whopper. Double whopper in that Friday is the bad Friday where them talk about in our Christianity. Well, them say Good Friday, we say the bad Friday in our historical reference point where Rastafari get mutilated. And this happened in 1963. And you know, every year we commemorate that in Montego Bay at the Pittsburgh Nyabingi Center. That's in Granville, Montego Bay, St. James. And it is also the time when Haile Selassie came here on the 21st of April 1966, 3 years exactly after. 3 years exactly. Haile Selassie love exact dates, you know, because him left Ethiopia on a certain day and him come back on the same day 5 years after exactly. Exactly. 5 years after him come back to Ethiopia. Exactly. So the celebration for the visit of Emperor Haile Selassie to Jamaica will take place the next day, the 20th, the 21st. The 20th, yes, so it go. I mix up the day there, bro. Okay, all right. It's the 20th and the 21st. And we will still be in Montego Bay because we're going to appear at the Citadel. The Citadel is down at Lilliput. We will be talking and reading poetry there. Yes, we'll be talking and reading poetry. So, for those of you who do have nothing else to do, you can join me at the Citadel. I can see if I can go and find the address and the number. I know it's out of Lilliput. And also want to tell you that the Dispo and Poetry Festival gone back to its original place. The move from Port Antonio to the agricultural school. That is where it will be keeping. So we want all the ones them to know that the venue for the Dispoem Festival moved from the art of Port Antonio into the school, the agricultural school. And that is what we want to tell you here now. We want to present to your program tonight outside of the Carrigan thing. We want to examine something that me reason about serious reasoning. And as usual, it pertaining to the Bible, especially Genesis. Because you have some people have woolly patak. We want to put forward the reasoning that a lot of these things never happen literally. But it is a way that those people use to record a certain thinking and a certain thought. Just like we hear about Brother Nancy. Nobody believes that there was a spider talking in the Asante Kingdom in Ghana. But it is a way to bring across a certain level of thinking and a certain kind of philosophy using metaphors and similes. And sometimes it becomes mythologies. The problem with our grandparents, I know that my great-grandfather was a slave in Jamaica. Yeah. The problem with it is that when them give all of those people the Bible, them never question nothing in it. Them just use it. Some use it for also free themselves, but most of them use it to become something other than themselves. So we want to examine that, but we want to talk to Pamela about the Coral Garden Benevolent Society and just what is happening in a Montego Bay as it relates to that. And we want to know if all of these things happening in Montego Bay is part of a retribution. I mean, I say a retribution still, but it comes like a retribution. You know, them treat Rasta in a Montego Bay. And the youth, them rise up now to do where maybe the Rasta never want to do. This is the Cutting Edge and RFM, brand new tune by Feluke. Here goes. Man, Feluke, with a Jimmy Cliff originator. Yes, Glenn Brownie, a good production. Love it. Okay, so we're right just at the program and I'll present Pat Clark with Jamaica Roots and Culture. Here goes.
Welcome to Jamaican Roots and Culture. I'm your host, Pat Clark. Ackee is the national fruit of Jamaica and is born in clusters on an evergreen tree. Its name is derived from the West African Ackee fufu. The ackee tree is not endemic to the West Indies, but was introduced from West Africa during the 18th century. Legend has it that the ackee seeds came to Jamaica clutched in the fist of an African youth who was captured while he was out gathering produce in the forest. He held the seeds tightly in his clenched fist all the way along the Middle Passage in a slave ship, which took him to Jamaica. Here he planted the seeds, and now we have inherited a bit of the motherland through this amazing fruit, which has become a staple in many Jamaican homes. Ackee trees are found across the island of Jamaica, but the main producing areas are located in Clarendon and St. Elizabeth. There are two main bearing seasons between January to March and June to August. The fruit turns red on reaching maturity and splits open with continued exposure to the sunlight. It is when the ackee pods are open on the tree naturally that the fruits are harvested and the edible portion removed and cleaned in preparation for cooking. This delicacy is enjoyed by many at breakfast or as an entree. The canned product is exported to ethnic markets worldwide and continues to be enjoyed by both visitors to the island and Jamaicans residing overseas. Consumers of the unripe fruit sometimes suffer from Jamaican vomiting sickness syndrome, JVS, allegedly caused by the unusual amino acid components of hypoglycin A and B. Although JVS has resulted in some fatalities in the past, with symptoms including vomiting and severe hypoglycemia, nowadays such incidents are rare with the increased awareness of the necessity for consuming only the ripe opened ackees. Recent studies done by the Biochemistry Department at the UWI Mona on the fatty acid composition of ackee have found that over 50% of the fruit's dry weight consists of lipids or oils. These results show that the purified oil from ackee has high nutritive value and makes an important contribution to the fatty acid intake of many Jamaicans. Jamaica is the only West Indian country in which ackees are eaten. In other West Indian countries, a tea is made from the leaves of the tree for colds, flus, and mucus congestion. In Cuba, a tea of the leaves and bark is used for stomach problems. And in Colombia, the leaves are baked in hot ashes and used as a poultice for pains, strains, and swellings. And now to end Jamaican Roots and Culture, here's a famous quotation from Marcus Garvey. Liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you will liberate the bodies of men. For Jamaican Roots and Culture, I'm Pat Clark.
Yes, okay. You know, so the other day, well, last year we go to Africa, and it's really the first me ever eat ackee in Africa. Yeah, last year. Raw, that too. Yeah, man, raw ackee. Raw nice, you know. All the people are talking, you know. A joke with a joke. Raw ackee nice. Okay. We going to speak to, well, we hope she's on the phone here. Good night.
Greetings, Muta.
All right, hold on there. We want to talk to Nani, or we're going to say Pamela Rowe Williams, Secretary for the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society. Greetings, yes. How are you doing, Mama?
Give thanks, man. Give thanks.
All right. So, me could get to it now. The Benevolent Society is the what you call it now? The group of Rastafari who is responsible for see that the brethren them and the sister them who was part of that atrocity get some form of reprieve and reparation at this time, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So tell me now, between the really want to ask this, between the apology where the Prime Minister gave and the argument of how much $1 million in escrow, where it reach? Where that reach?
All right. We are at the point now where the Prime Minister requested the public defender to do a social inquiry on the survivors, and that was completed. The field work was completed in last year, June.
Yeah.
We were waiting for an extended period the submission of that report.
Yeah.
So after we understand now that it was submitted last week Thursday. We have not seen the report, but we hear that it was submitted to the Prime Minister's office.
Okay.
So we are awaiting distribution to us so that we can actually see what is recommended and how we might be able to calculate the compensation for the individual survivors. Of roughly 30-something survivors that we have.
How much?
There are different persons experienced injury in different ways.
No, how much survivors you have?
30-something. That's what, even that we are awaiting the decision, because the public defender interviewed close to 40 persons, but we understand that some of the persons are considered as witnesses and not survivors. So the final number, she will recommend that these and these persons are really survivors. So the final number will be determined by her.
Okay, all right. Last week on the Stepping Razor, I read a thing that you're saying that there is a house that is rented for some of the elders, and
yes,
obviously rent off a pay.
Right.
How long now to have that house there?
All right. We in fact, this month of April is the first month of renting it.
Oh, so it was okay.
For security and 1 month's rental. However, the government has promised to cover 1 year's rent for the house. Okay. We have been negotiating with the government there are 2 lots in Albion Heights in Montego Bay that are currently government owned, and there are houses on the lots.
Yes,
but the houses were vandalized, so it's really just 2 basic shells that are left. So we are negotiating to get those lots. Okay. One to be used as an elder care facility, and the other one for an office for the Benevolent Society. But of course, you know, that will have to be renovated, and we have received.
So where the elders them live now? We're now Montego Bay.
Well, the elders are spread all over, you know, but the ones that are in most need of care and protection.
No, I'm talking about in the house. No, I'm talking about in the house. No, I'm talking about in the house where you say rented. Which part of the house?
We have now. It's not yet furnished.
Okay.
So we have just rented it. Where are we now? About 2 weeks now in that. Okay. And we are awaiting. We sent in a budget for furnishing and equipping the house, as well as for employment of staff to take care of the elders.
Okay.
And that is being processed by the Ministry of Culture, Gender and Entertainment and Sports. So they will be, and they are currently seeking the help of Food for the Poor and NIS to help to furnish the facility. So right now they are in the process of acquiring furnishing, and as soon as that happens, then we will be able to move the elders in. The house is intended to house a maximum of 6 elders who were identified by the public defender as in most urgent need of care. Okay. So those are the ones who will move in into that facility.
Okay. All right. So this year, this what I'm calling it now, money that the Prime Minister had mentioned. Oh, and when and who will it be dispersed to? When it will be dispersed? It's just a matter of saying it and hope say it happen.
All right. Well, the Prime Minister announced that no less than 10 million, based upon the public defender's report, which was
I remember. Yeah.
She recommended that no less than 10 million be put in trust for the survivors.
All right, when you say explain to the people them as a banker, coming with a banker. Explain to the people them when them say trust, put it in trust.
Yes. All right. So, well, it would be a trust fund. All right. Now there are several different types of trust funds. So right now we are negotiating with the Administrator General, because they have received they received $12 million last year. Mm. Don't you remember when Minister Grange announced in Parliament? Right. So she transferred $12 million to the Administrator General's office.
Yes.
During that time, they were awaiting the public defender's report before we can really do anything about the funds. So, and we have also been discussing the structure and management of the fund, because what we really would like to see is a fund that is managed, at least a board that is set up, on which at least, we have said that at least 3 members of the Rastafari community should sit on that board so that we can see and participate in the management of the fund.
No, hold on.
Yes.
What you really say is that it's not the Rastafari community responsible for the fund, but it's a group of people that is not Rasta, and now the Rastas now have to go up on that board.
That's what we're saying. Because the government sent the funds to the Administrator General's office, and they are responsible for the administration of the trust, which we have been saying that they're not totally satisfied with that.
But you are not satisfied with that? That they are going to give you some what they call reparation money, and then they are going to decide now, say, them is the one who is responsible for spending it, but if we don't have 3 people to put on the board, we will accept them.
Well, the thing is that at first, even before we suggested that, we thought that we would be able to set up our own trust fund and have a government representative for transparency.
That's what I said. It's a Rasta should have it and then get 2 government men to put on it to say this is that and this is that.
But currently what the government is saying that they are not comfortable, because if we set up a fund, it would be a private trust fund, and they are not comfortable with sending the money to a private trust fund. So that is where we are right now in this negotiation as to exactly what type of fund will be set up and how it will be managed.
So, for instance, now, this the place where don't know how to get there now, right? The building to set up daycare center and all them something now. Who is going to decide that? Who deciding if the money must go there or not go there? The government.
Well, we requested. We have always had this objective of setting up an elder care facility, because over the years we have been assisting the elders, and we know that some of them live alone without any caregiver. And we know that, and for example, we repaired a house, and within the very night of repairing the house, the people in the community were stoning the house.
Why?
Because I don't know, it's the same kind of
Rasta persecution.
Yes, the same kind of opinion that they have of Rasta that it has been handed down over the years, No.
Tell me which community that?
That is Rose Heights.
And the people them have stoned the house.
Yes, they don't want the man to live comfortably in it, and he lives alone. So those are the kinds of situations that some of our elders face. You have other cases where there is no family member taking, proper care. They might live in the yard with a family member, but they might live
But when I say, Nanny, you tell me now, say that if the Rasta them decides them are going to set up a daycare facility now, they have to go back to the Administrator General to tell them, and the Administrator is the one who going to decide if it must go or not?
Well, right now the fund is not yet registered and set up.
No, I mean when it is set up by the Administrator.
The thing is that when it is set up, we want to have a stronger handling the decisions, all right? But what we are facing is that they are saying that the trust fund is intended for the survivors, all right?
Yes.
And what we know is that our recommendations do not only regard the survivors, we also know that the community itself needs some amount of reparation.
Yeah, the Rastafari community where they persecuted, where was
that
persecuted.
was completely displaced and harassed over the years. So what we were hoping or we thought would have happened would be that we would have a trust fund with, for example, whatever land is given to us would be also those assets would be part of the trust, as well as the actual cash, that compensation that are intended for the survivors.
All right, but
yes.
Even to that now, what may I say? You say you have 30 odd survivors.
Mm-hmm.
You are telling me, say no, that if the Rastafari community say that survivor need that,
mm-hmm.
you have to go to the Administrator General, and the Administrator General is the one who's going to decide if them going to give you the money?
Yes, that is how it is at this moment.
That's so now here.
Yes, indeed, because what I equate it with, we ask England for reparations, and then England turn around and control the funds.
Yeah.
And we have to go to them again for whatever expenditure we need to make. That's basically what is happening right now, based on how the system is set.
Yeah, it's so now here.
Yeah.
I never know says this right there.
Yeah, that's where it is right now.
I talk to you. Never know say this. All right. We can move on then. What happened this year that never happened last year? At this the commemoration. Is there something that on decide that what happened this year that never happened last year? Are you just going to follow the same pattern of the same event?
Well, it might be a similar pattern, but the content is different in the sense that we have speakers on specific topics, because what we have decided is the theme for this year is volunteerism and the celebration of good over evil. Now, why we are emphasizing volunteerism is that we have gotten to this point of the struggle based upon the voluntary contributions of a wide cross-section of Jamaican citizens, not only Rastafari, who have assisted in the process of agitation over the years. So this year we want to recognize their contribution and to give them an award. So we are awarding 21 persons, giving awards to 21 persons who have made contributions to the agitation process over the years. Particularly, we are honoring Junior Manning, who was the founder of the agitation committee way back in those days, and who used to do the commemoration events and do the agitation on the Rastafari community's behalf. So we are recognizing his work and his volunteerism, because really and truly you are working on behalf of the elders, and it is you're just trying to do your best for them, because you recognize that the elders are really our own prophets, you know. And they started the movement, and they have suffered in the process. Meanwhile, the Rastafari movement has spread worldwide. So we want to recognize the work that they have done, and also the work that the volunteers have done in terms of bringing to light, including yourself, Muta.
Yeah, so all of these
over the years.
So all of these speakers go and talk on volunteerism, or is just
No. We will have a keynote speaker.
Okay. That's why I asked you. That's why I asked you what happens.
What other things? All right.
Different
So
all of these speakers. Hold on. Most of these speakers I have seen there before. The only difference here now is that
in previous years at different points in time, yes.
So now that's why I'm asking what is it that is going to be done this year that never done last year? Because it's very important that happen.
We would have the survivors doing their testimonies. We will not do it in that fashion. What we will do, the playing Bongo Franklingo's testimony, which is really a very vivid, emotional testimony. Because you see, what we are saying is that the young persons in the Rastafari community and in the general community need to be aware of the history.
Yeah, Nanny, me not tell you say that nothing happen, you know.
Yes, but you want something
I say, is there anything that going to happen where we never usually see happen before? Without all of them things there is the right thing to do.
Yes.
All what me see on this paper here, the speakers, the testimonies, because we know that I do all the while, but we just want to find out if there's some little thing that might happen. Obviously.
Well, Ross Ige, you know Ross Ige, right?
Yeah, him talk, every year him talk.
Yes, but this time, what he's going to be talking about is giving justification for April being Rastafari month. Because in fact, in 2015, Ross Ige came to us, the Benevolent Society, and suggested this, and he gave different reasons why April should be declared as Rastafari month. At the time, we said to him that, look, we really have to focus on the agitation for the compensation, but it is an interesting point. Okay. Now, since then, we have seen that the idea coming out, and so we're also, so that is part of what we're saying, because the community of the Rastafari need to support or not the idea of April being declared Rastafari month. So that is what we will specifically be focusing on.
Okay, all right. So we want to tell the people that this is happening this Friday.
Yes.
And it is happening at the Peaceful Nyabingi Center, Granville, Montego Bay.
Yes.
What will happen the next day? Because the next day is the...
The next day will be the 21st.
The commemoration of Haile Selassie's visit to Jamaica.
Yes, it's the 21st.
Yeah.
So there's a day in between that activity, and we'll be having the Nyabingi in commemoration of that at Pit 4, all right?
That is when? Sunday?
When we complete our activity on Friday, which, might go into the morning,
yes.
Then on Saturday, we are having a reasoning reflection on the Rastafari movement, where it has moved, or what direction it ought to go. Okay. So it will be more people, flashing out ideas and saying, giving their own views. And that will go on for the day. Meanwhile, some musical entertainment.
Okay.
And then at 12 midnight, you will have the firelight for
to bring in the visit.
The Nyabingi, yes.
All right. So we want the people to hear this. All the ones them who have never been to a commemoration, join us at the Nyabingi Peaceful Center for the 1963 Carroll Gardens atrocities.
Yes.
And this is the 56th commemoration of the 56th commemoration, believe you me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a serious thing. Serious
thing. So, most of the survivors are just
and we have musical entertainment and we have performers as usual.
Mutabaruka. But did you juggling some music during the day? And also
I know the day me play.
Presentation after.
I know the day me play. I know the day me play in the sonat.
Yeah, man, you're down there 10 cool and nice.
And computer them, no stand up in that sun,
We have you in two sections, 12:30 p.m. Before the speakers forum.
12:30 p.m.
12:30 p.m. You want me to late?
I can't tell me I come from it.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It depends on the time you leave. So that's too early for you?
It's so kind of too early. Give me when me go to Saturday. Give me what I'm going to do. Sorry, give me what I'm going to do.
Soccer high power sound.
No, hear why me I say that. Hear me I say that now. At Thursday, I do the program here, so And I have to drive, go back to town.
So you're going to go back to town after that?
Yeah, man, I have to go back to town, man. I don't bring nothing. And,
okay, all right. So about what time you're sitting then? You'll be able to sit in?
But me tell you when, tomorrow morning, me tell you.
All right, but you're good.
Because 12:30 kind of sound now here.
We'll fit you in, but the speakers forum and award ceremony will begin at 2 p.m.
Okay.
And
that can take quite a while.
At 3 p.m.
Yeah, that can take quite a while.
And while the banquet is going on, we will have speakers like Dr. Horace Chang giving an update on the government side of the negotiation.
Horace Chang?
And JFJ giving
Hold on there. Orange Strong, the point of paper for true, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What Orange Strong white talk about?
It, yes.
What you white talk about?
Hello?
What Orange Strong white talk about?
He's going to give an update on because you see what has happened is that we have been promised some things and they are not yet concrete. So he will try to see, we will hear from him what are the concrete. For example, I told you about the two adjacent lots that we are interested in. We wrote to Dr. Chang, being the member of parliament for the area. And so what we need, and also Minister Grange announced in Parliament that we will be getting 50 acres of land. We still want to know whether that is still in the works.
So that is what Orange Strong going to talk about?
We have not yet seen the land.
So that is what Orange Strong going to talk about?
Yes, give an update on the government side of what's going on with the compensation. Because remember now, when the Prime Minister apologized, he not only mandated the public defender to do a social inquiry, he also mandated the member of parliament of the area to work alongside us and to assist us in what is the Rastafari Call Garden Benevolent Society, to assist us in whatever with our needs. So we expressed to him in our first meeting after that apology that we really need an office in a suitable environment, because currently our office is located at the arcade in Montego Bay, which is really not, and the railway department is seeking to take over back their land and all of that. So we really need an office so that we can better take care of the needs of the elders. So we have written to him, we identified the properties, and we wrote to him and we said to him, okay, he sent his administrator to give us a tour, and we toured the place and we said, yes, these lots are suitable for us. Wrote him and saying that. But what we need is now some concrete agreement. So he will tell us what is the latest in terms of those agreements.
Okay, all right.
With respect to the land for agriculture as well as the land for elder care and office.
Yeah, okay. All right, give thanks, sister. We'll see you Friday.
Yes, give thanks, Muta. Yeah, man.
All right.
And we look forward to you being there.
Yeah, man, I will be there. I'm always there.
With the usual
yes.
juggling of because even the music that you just played a while ago, that it's Jimmy Cliff, man. It was really...
It's not Jimmy Cliff,
I know, Jimmy Cliff's music.
Originator, yeah. Feluke.
Yeah, man.
Give thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That was Pamela Rowe Williams, Sister Nanny, Secretary of the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society, just giving us a little update and a run-up of what is going to take place this Friday. So, here we are. Yes, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM, going through the paces, reminding the people. Yes, that is what we are doing. We are reminding the people. Brand new tune by Marcia Griffiths. Pure covers of the vintage Jamaican music. Yes, recently, we want to play this. We want to play this, We want to play this. It's a clip.
The Vatican's most senior officials has been found guilty of child sex abuse in Australia.
This is a major story that has been kept under wraps for some time, but we can now report it. Cardinal George Pell was the third most important person in the Roman Catholic Church at the Vatican and was very close to the Pope himself. His conviction brings the global sexual abuse scandal to the very heart of the Vatican.
Pell and his defense team have maintained his innocence, saying the trial was only a means to destroy his reputation. A unanimous jury handed down the guilty verdict just before Christmas last year, but a court order has until now prevented the reporting of his conviction to protect the integrity of his second trial. And that trial has now been called off, so CNN can now report his conviction.
Anna Corrin has been following the case, joins us from outside the court in Melbourne. Now that second trial isn't happening. The gag order to so-called protect the jury in that second trial is no longer necessary. Fill us in on this extraordinary case and the importance of it.
Yeah, Michael, this is absolutely explosive, and it will send shockwaves not just here in Australia, but certainly around the world, right to the top of the Vatican. As you say, he is number 3 in the Vatican, treasurer of the Vatican. He is now the most senior member of the Catholic Church to be charged, to be convicted of child sexual assault. We have been sitting on this story for the last 2 months. As you say, there has been a suppression order in place due to that second trial. Well, that second trial, a short time ago, it collapsed. There wasn't enough evidence to proceed. There has been debate going on in the courtroom behind me here at Melbourne County Court, and the judge just a short time ago decided to lift that suppression order. No longer will the media sit on this story. It is now official. George Pell is a convicted pedophile. Now, what are these allegations, these convictions? What is it all about? It relates to 2 choir boys back in the late 90s when George Pell was Archbishop of Melbourne. He was Archbishop from 1996 to 2001. Now, the allegations by the Crown is that George Pell, he forced one of these choir boys to perform oral sex on him and perform indecent acts with the other 2. There was a charge a month later that he groped one of the choir boys in the hallway. Now, in relation to the second choir boy, he died several years ago from a drug overdose, which, as we know, is often the case with the survivors of sexual abuse. We've spoken to many survivors of clerical sexual abuse over the last week, and they talk of having problems with alcohol and with drugs and their life going completely off the rails. So there was only one choir boy who gave testimony before a jury of 12 Australians, and they deliberated for 2.5 days, and they found him guilty unanimously on all 5 charges. One of sexual penetration, the others of indecent assault. But as we say, this is extraordinary. We are waiting for George Pell to leave the courthouse. He is still out on bail. He will return here to this court to a plea hearing tomorrow. That is where his sentencing will be discussed, but that sentencing won't be handed down until next week. But as we say, Michael and Amara, this is absolutely explosive.
It is explosive. It is extremely extraordinary just when you consider his position. Cardinal Pell, I mean, he was the highest ranking Catholic official in Australia, the 3rd highest in the Catholic Church. He was also one of the Pope Francis's most trusted advisors. And now you're talking about sentencing on Wednesday. So this is a man, a former high-ranking Catholic official who will likely face jail time. Is that correct, Anna?
Yeah, absolutely, Amara. He will definitely do jail time. That is what we are hearing, and perhaps a jail term from 5 to 10 years. It just depends. There was sentencing reform here in the state of Victoria in 2012. These crimes took place in the late 90s, so it will be up to the judge as to how he hands down his sentence and how severe it will be. But these are extremely serious charges, and obviously George Pell is going to have to do jail time. Speaking to other survivors of clerical abuse here in Victoria, they definitely want to see him do time, and they feel that if George Pell can be brought down for child sexual abuse, then no one in the church is untouchable.
So, I mean, what happens now? And just describe the impact of this in Australia. It was a major story. He was in Rome when he was advised of the charges. There was talk about his health at the time and whether he could return or not. He eventually did. This is a case that has consumed certainly the Australian media, but is now going to have a much broader audience given his position.
Oh, Absolutely. I mean, we will wait for word from the Vatican, but you would have to assume in the current climate, Michael, that the Pope is going to comment on this. Now, we know that when the conviction was handed down back in December, obviously we couldn't report it, that shortly after that, he was taken off the council advisors, the unofficial council of advisors to the Pope. He was very close to Pope Francis. He was the Vatican of the Treasurer. This is a man who was instrumental at the Holy See, very highly regarded. And we also have to remember that when those charges were laid by police back in 2017, the Vatican vehemently defended George Pell. So we know that there's been this summit that's taken place in Rome, just concluded on the weekend, where Pope Francis called for an all-out assault on child sexual abuse within the church. He described those who abuse children as the tools of Satan. Well, I wonder what message he will be handing down to George Pell, someone who was so close to him, someone who was so high up in the Vatican himself, is now a convicted pedophile, Michael.
I want to focus a little bit on the abuse and what happened back in 1996 and 97. Again, Cardinal Pell, George Pell, being found guilty of sexually abusing these two choir boys. You mentioned one of them passed away from an overdose, sadly. Did we hear during this 4.5-week trial, did we actually hear from one of the choir boys?
Yes, we did, Amara. The media didn't. It was in a restricted court, closed circuit. He gave evidence via video link. This is a young man now in his 30s who does not want to be identified. And we should probably backtrack as to why he went to the police. Now, there was a royal commission here in Australia into the institutional responses of child sexual abuse, and that started in 2012. In 2014, one of the choir boys, he was the one who took his own life. We know then that prompted the other choir boy, the surviving choir boy, to come forward, to go to police, to the Sano task force that had been set up investigating child sexual abuse. And he said that he wanted to tell the truth, that this was a secret that he was harboring for so long. He talked during his testimony about never telling anybody, never wanting to tell anybody that he was at school on a scholarship. His parents were going through a divorce. He didn't want to jeopardize anything. As far as he was concerned, he was never, ever going to tell anybody. But it was his friend's death that prompted him to take action. But here's a little bit more for background.
Just so important to hear his side.
Awful. Just an awful situation. Not wanting to talk about it because of a scholarship. Anna, do stay with us. I want to come back and ask you some more questions, but to give more background on this, Cardinal Pell's conviction brings the global sexual abuse scandal to the very heart of the Vatican.
It sure does, and Pell and his defense team had been maintaining his innocence, saying the trial was just a means to destroy his reputation. Here's Anna Corrin with more on the story.
It's news that will send shockwaves throughout the Roman Catholic Church. Cardinal George Pell, Vatican Treasurer, found guilty of child sex abuse, the most senior Vatican official ever convicted of child sex offences. The verdict came down in December, but legal restrictions meant it couldn't be reported in Australia until now. Pell, the country's most powerful Catholic, was on trial for assaulting two choir boys in the late 90s when he was Archbishop of Melbourne. The prosecution's case hinged on the testimony of one of those boys. He told the court Pell assaulted them after Mass, forced him to perform oral sex on him, and committed an indecent act with his friend. He also testified that a month later, Pell pushed him against a wall and groped him. He said, quote, "I didn't tell anyone at the time. I had no intention back then of telling anyone ever." The other victim died of a drug overdose as an adult, having never told his family of the abuse. The Cardinal called the allegations outrageous.
I'm innocent of these charges. They are false. The whole idea of sexual abuse is abhorrent to me.
He didn't take the stand during the trial. Instead, a video of his interview with Australian detectives was played to the court. He pleaded not guilty, and his defence lawyer said the accusations were a fantasy. But a jury convicted Pell on all 5 charges. 1 of the sexual penetration of a child, and 4 of an indecent act with or in the presence of a child. It's a shocking fall from grace for one of the Vatican's top officials, who has long been an influential, if divisive, figure in Australia. He rose through the ranks of the Church to become Archbishop of Melbourne, then Sydney, then a cardinal, before being appointed Vatican Treasurer and a member of the Pope's Informal Council of Advisors. But while his star rose in the Vatican, Pell came in for mounting criticism at home, as the Australian Church became the centre of a global child abuse scandal. A national inquiry into institutional responses to child sexual abuse found 7% of the country's Catholic priests were accused of abusing children between 1950 and 2010. It identified nearly 2,000 alleged perpetrators, including priests, brothers, lay people and religious sisters.
That the Cardinal had given...
When he appeared in front of the Royal Commission in 2016, Pell faced questions about whether he had done enough to weed out abuse and get justice for the victims. Now the Cardinal himself has been convicted, and other survivors of clerical sexual abuse unrelated to the Pell case are elated.
Justice is what I thought, justice for the victims. I think that should give everyone that's thinking about, whether you'll be believed or whether you will or won't win the fight, it should give you the courage to come forward and at least be heard.
Pell's conviction will hurt an organisation already battling decades of revelations about paedophile priests. The Pope removed Pell from his advisory council in December. But the damage to the Church may be difficult to repair. Now this global crisis has reached the top of the Vatican. Anna Corrin, CNN, Melbourne.
That was a news from earlier on in the year. The 3rd highest person in the Roman Catholic Church to the Pope held for pedophiles. What is it with the Roman Catholic Church? I mean, all right, say a father say a nun who him like. A father say a nun who him like. A man is a man. Him carry behind the altar and do him thing, and that is it. But what is it with these bishops and these cardinals that make them want to have little children? Children. I mean, like little children. And this are going for centuries. Centuries it are going. And we know the history of the Roman Catholic Church. We know the history of it's not like said hide now. We know. Say, from them time down till now, it no level. But guess what? Black people still go to the church, and some of them even become bishops and cardinals in the church. Black people. I don't understand it. Why would you see so much of these behaviors taking place amongst the hierarchy of an organization that is supposed to have the head, the representative of Jesus on earth? The representative of Jesus on earth. And when you look at the history of these representatives, a lot of them is pedophiles. I mean, we can't talk about all homosexuality, we can't talk about woolly pag and thief and all them things, but the pedophile thing is where I've me thinking. I mean, we know, say, you have the places where the females stay over there, so the males stay over there, so. And they have the males become homosexuals. And it's a big thing in the church. But when them externalize it now by moving from cardinal to bishop, homosexuality and all these things, and then them now convert it into children. Have you ever noticed that most of the angels in the church are two children, as little children, like Cupid and all of this? It's a little angel with a little arrow, bow and arrow, with a little wing round him. It's pure little children. Pure little children. What is it with this church that is so obsessed with sexual deviance with little children? And what is it with black people? That black people see all of this in front of them, but believe, say, look here, I can explain something to you. You see, if you start out with a proposition wrong, the end must be wrong. What I mean by that, if you say 1 and 1 is 3, then when you go and say 1 and 4, you never get 5. If you start out the proposition wrong, you're going to end up wrong. So for those of us who is looking for salvation and know that this church represents something that is unbelievable outside of the realms of your understanding, that men who claim God manifestation, who claim Jesus Christ, and who say they represent Jesus Christ, and is the almost like the doorstep between Mary and the people, because them claim that you have to go through Mary, purgatory. What the hell is wrong with these people? Oh, we as African people get caught up in a that. Oh, we get caught up in a that. And as me I say, we can't talk about the other things them. We can't talk about so much things that is handed down through the system of what they call the popes. From the popes, them claims that Peter is the first pope, and them bury him under the basilica and call it St. Peter's Basilica. Peter, the same Peter, was supposed to be in the Bible. So them start the genealogy and the chronology of the popes from Peter, come right down to this one named Pope Francis. And if you read some books, The Crimes of the Popes, if you read that book, The Crimes of the Pope, you will see that there's a lot of them. This is not fall short of the glory of God, you know, because when people talk about, yes, a man, nobody can judge man. It's man can judge man. It's man judge man. That's why they have courthouse. That's when a man do something wrong, him go to the court to find out if him wrong. When man do something, him don't go in a one corner and say, God judge me, make lightning strike me. No, him go to the court and him get a lawyer and him flash it out and say, this is that and this is that. All right, no, you're guilty. Or you're not guilty. So, it's not like say you want to go judge people. But you have to lay judgment when you see say certain things now work out or it's supposed to work out. And if history show you that things start wrong, How it going to end up right? How it going to end up right? This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. The time is 12 o'clock. So we're on this thing here because we are lead up to something and we want the African people them who are listening to it. Just think. That is what it is all about, you know. Thinking. And we want to know if these people, like all the man where them where kill the little girl the other day, the 8-year-old girl, you know. Suppose a man let's farm a church. Would you go to that church? If that man buys some beer, everybody knows it's him, but him don't go to prison. Suppose him start a church. Would you go to that church? I wouldn't go to that church there. And then that is just an individual. And if you, that's why we say, you see, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my grandfather, my great-grandfather was a slave. This is when them give the Bible, we never question nothing in it. We just take it and accept everything. That means, you know, through DNA, through generations, it handed down to the point where we're scared to question anything in it. Scared. It's almost like we are condemn ourselves if we get critical and start to think. Why would a man trouble a little pick me and start a church and then you're gonna go join it? Why would I do that? Even if him have a true word, because sometimes you have to forget the messenger and check the message. But when the messenger form an organization and do these things and then preach good things, it's like a man will do good all his life and then go murder his wife. You know, say, I'm going to go to prison. Nobody now go think, say, well, you know, say that man there, him did help the poor and him did feed this and that. Him go murder his wife, him must go hang or something, go to prison for the rest of his life. So if a church through the years, through history, and people scared to talk about it that way there, but it's a reality and it's a truth, and we not talk it because we are trying to be vindictive, but we are talking about something historical and it's a fact that the Roman Catholic Church have a history of pedophiles in them hierarchy from them time there until now. From them time there, before my mother, before slavery. Them have a history of pedophiles. And now we see, this is not the first one because there's about 300, let me say 1,000, no, let's say 300, 1,000 had lawsuit against Roman Catholic Church for molesting children, not priest against priest, not homosexuality again, which that is a big thing, not homosexuality between priest and priest, but pedophiles between priests and children, altar boys. That is where the problem there. I mean, the other one is problem, but we just have bring it down to this exact thing as of now, because this is a imbalance that we not hear. Black people, something we're mentally deranged, man. It's either we're mentally deranged or we are what I'm called genetically modified. Genetically modified. Look what the man them do today. Them things says the man there rape the girl or them have information to do who do it. And them throw rubber tire upon him and burn him up to death. Them kill him. A group of people beat him and then throw rubber tire upon him, light it and burn him up, kill him. Because them feel say him responsible. It's either him do it or him know somebody or somebody who do it. Them don't know. Them don't know. And then him brother come and say, well, according to what me hear, him deserve it. Him brother, him flesh brother say that. Him flesh brother say that. Say, if I say it go, then maybe him deserve it. But nobody no prove that, nobody no know that, you know. But them take action against that. No whole organization in the earth here, especially in the Western world, a whole organization is guilty thousands of cardinals and bishops is found guilty to do this thing, and all them do is move them from one place to the next place. Hardly any of them. This is one of the few. This is one of the few ones, as you hear them say it by the CNN reporter. This is one of the few ones where found guilty and are going to go to prison. This is one of the few of them. But most of them is moved from one place to the next place to the next place for do them evil in the next place with the children them. And then them have some little angels with wings. Young babies is angels. What kind of psychological deformity that is? And we not question these things. Historically, go down the line, we not question it. Because we not question it. The reason why we can't question that is because we never even start questioning the Bible from the beginning to Revelation. We never did a question that. We never did a question how 3 people upon the earth and 2 people, one kill one and the other one go to the east of the garden and find himself a wife. We never question how God make man in his own image, male and female, created them. And then the next chapter show you say, him put the man to sleep and take out a woman, a man ribs and make a woman. It's lie them I tell. It will have nothing to do with the reality of our situation as African people. As a matter of fact, we might say something, you know, we're going to hurt up and burn up some people car, you know, and get people and know, I say, boy, I see them, they know say mad. But you see, information allow you to think. The people that with the most information win the war. The people that with the most information is them win. Now we're going to say something, you know, where might sound weird because people never have the opportunity to go search for themselves. No. Listen to what we're going to say now. The first time me read off the Bible, when me there 12 times, I read off the Bible from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22. The Bible was a Catholic Bible, not Roman Catholic Bible, a Catholic Bible. Because Catholic means universal. That is what Catholic means. Catholic is universal. A Roman Catholic is a universal Roman. That means say, you really, like one man that says he's an African, but he never born in Africa. It's not because you're born in, it's not, you don't have to born in Africa to be African. Well, you don't have to born in Rome to be a Roman Catholic. You're a universal Roman. That means say you're under the auspices of the Pope of Rome. He is a representative of Jesus upon the earth. Now hear what I tell you say. This Bible, the Catholic Bible, have some books in there that is not in the King James Bible. But this Bible have books that when you separate the books them and put them together, them call it the Apocryphas. Listen to what I say, you know. And all my Christian friend them. And no one don't like you, I say certain thing. And And they don't love me to the point where me talk these things. After me start talk these things, they don't love me again. But them love Muta. And one time when you see me, they laugh and smile with me. And boy, Muta, me listen to you every day now. Well, listen to me, I say now. And if you don't believe what me I say, I don't even want to go talk to your preacher, you know, because them are idiot. Ask your picnic if you Google whatsoever me I say. Ask your picnic if you Google it. Because them can't Google. You can't Google anything now and get it. Right? All right. So, you did have these books named the Apocryphals. When me read the Bible, I read all of the book them when we're in the King James Version, I mean I say Sirach, 1st and 2nd Maccabees, and all these books whenever in the King James Version. And me start to sell book. Me say, me go sell them book here. To make people get an understanding, say, there's a lot of books. Where the 66 books is, there's a lot of books that was taken out of the Bible because the Roman Catholic Church never see it divinely inspired. Them are going to decide that, you know. Just like how them decide that Jesus Christ is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. Them decide these things, you know. It's not black people decide these things. These things never are gone 2,000 years ago. Nobody never talk about God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. Nobody never talk about all the most of the things you hear around the church, them never talk about. Anyway, I decided I'm going to start selling them books in my store. Even though this store is supposed to be a black bookstore, because that's what we call it. Books about us. The reason why we start to sell it is because we say, look here now, you see this information, yeah? Christian have this information, you know, but them now going to read this, the Apocryphals. Because them are going to say, when I read that fight, it's not inspired. Who told you that the 66 books in the Bible was inspired? And not those books? Because later I'm going to realize that there's a book of Thomas, there's a book of this, and there's a book of that. All right. There's even a book of Mary. All right. So we'll start to sell these books. And when we are moving off and I find and I search, we find out, say, they have a book named The Forbidden Books, The Forgotten Books of the Bible, and the Book of Eden. All right. Why may I say these things? Because we will come back to this pedophile thing, you know. This pedophile thing is a serious thing, you know. We are taking it lightly, you know. But it's the same like how we are talking about how man are old with children them on the road and kill them. You have a thing named spiritual death. And you hear the report I just said a while ago, say one of the youth them who this cardinal abuse, kill himself. And I can play some other testimony of families who say the church abused them child so much that the child couldn't take it. The child could do something and kill themselves. I start to take drugs. All right. So may I read these books that is not in the King James Bible. And may I read the King James Bible. And may I sit a mark. And God made man in his own image. In the image of God created he them, male and female he created. And God saw that it was good. And on the same day he rested. But here one now, it strike me. Come here and say, who is this? And let us make man. Who is this us they matter about? If there was only God there, why is the thing in plural? So I will go to some guys now and they will try to explain with the us. They will start telling me now, so the us we matter about is the spirit of Jesus Christ before it manifests. This is the thing that them tell me. I'm just about that car, that sounds stupid to me. God said, let us make man, and is the spirit of Jesus. Jesus never born yet. But you must understand that Adam is the first, Adam is the first man, Jesus is the second man, is the second Adam. And they might explain all these things to me. I say, all right, you know something? Me go and read this book, you know. Bam! Me I read one day, and me read a book, and me see it mark. Lilith. Lilith. Write it down, you know, and go find it, you know, because I know some people out there know I say, yes, Muta come with them damn fools again, but if I am wrong, if what I am saying here don't exist at all, well, I hope my computer burn up inside us all. Lilith, it is said, in the tradition of biblical writings, there was a woman named Lilith, Lilith. And Lilith, listen to me I say, was before Eve. You hear what I say? I don't me write these things, you know. I tell you where happen, where written, dead if everybody find it out. But because we get stuck, we don't go further than to find out. Me say, this woman named Lilith, according to scriptures, because it's the Roman Catholic Church at this side say, them going to take out certain things and keep certain things. The Roman Catholic Church. Okay. Lilith, it is said, was the first woman on earth. When God said, let us make man in our own image, and then he said, male and female created he them, that was before he make Eve. So here what now? This woman, Lilith, according to the scriptures, and I'm going to say scriptures because it is in the scriptures, it's just that the church take out that part of it. Because this woman is said to be a very strong woman. You hear me say? You can't go find it, you know. It's not no secret doctrine that I talk about, you know. If you go anywhere, in any good church library, in any good, what them call it, Christian bookstore, it is available. Or maybe if you go to a Sangster store. Lilith, according to the scriptures, was the first woman, and she was the wife of Adam. You think I'm mad, Muta get mad? You think me attack them thing out of my head? I mean, when I say out of my head, I mean, I make it up out of my head. No, me read that in the scriptures. Just like when I read 1st and 2nd Maccabees, just like when I read all some other books out of the Apocrypha, just like when I read any book, but it was taken out of this Bible because this woman who named Lilith, was such a powerful woman that she not take nothing from Adam where Adam want, all sex. She had decided who go up on top and who go up on bottom. I just plainly me attack it. This is in the scriptures. And she now become a demon. Because this is how the church now got demonize woman now. She was the first woman that was demonized by the church. The first woman to be demonized by the church. She named Lilith, the first wife of Adam. And now because she get demonized now, she have no part to play in the holy book. But here we part to play in the holy book now, that Adam, next wife, who named Eve, have 2 sons, black people. Oh, we get so twisted in the mindset of European doctrines. And when we hear about Olodumare and when we hear about Kemet traditions, and we hear about the Akan, and we hear about voodoo, and when we hear about all of these things, right away the first thing come to is devil business and devil business and devil business. Not realizing, say, these people who control your mind, if you want to claim devil, if you want to claim devil, you have to recognize devil if you want to claim devil. You know what devil mean? A deceiver. Devil mean a deceiver. I mean, know some people don't know I say muta devil, but you know, if I had deceive you, I hope say this machine you burn up before I let out here. Because it's not me write it in no poetry. It is written that Cain and Abel have a twin sister. I wonder if where the brethren and name will sell the book them, Kirky. I wonder if Kirky sell them book there. Kirky will start a tradition, you know. I will let you keep the tradition, you know. We are talk about some things I know where you have to go find the book. I wonder if Mitzi have them book there. I sell. Mitzi, you should sell book, you know, not you still sell book, you know. Listen to me. Cain and Abel. Cain have a twin sister. Abel have a twin sister. I know this is the first time I hear all these things and it sounds like madness. Cain have a twin sister. Abel have a twin sister. And Abel married to Cain's sister and Cain married to Abel's sister. That is how the argument about him go to the east of the garden and find himself a wife, you know. For sure, say something missing. You only not read it and see say something wrong. If two people alone, if two people upon the earth, Cain and Abel is the two sons. Two sons and a man and a woman, Adam and Eve. And Cain killed Abel. There are three people that upon the earth. And Abel and Cain went to the east of the garden and found himself a wife. Where the hell that wife come from? It is explained in the book that them take out. It is explained in the book that them take out that Cain have a twin sister, Abel have a twin sister, Cain married to Abel twin sister. It's so it go according to the book where them take out of the King James Bible. Because that leave a missing link between who is the wife of Cain. And the book of Eden show you. The forbidden books of the Bible show you how it go. And then them that have to demonize this woman now who Lilith will demonize she now. For sure you say, boy, right now, them don't want a powerful woman like that, you know. So them create another woman. Them create a next woman named Eve. You think anything goes so? You think physically anything that goes so? Not goes so. Stories, allegories like Brother Nancy, like Aesop fables. It's stories. What them call it? Fables. So them have in a dilemma yes or no. Because sooner or later, some person like me, I go read the book and I go realize, but wait, who do this, who set this thing out of way there? I realize, so it's a trick. It's a trick. It's a trick because the person who did write it never did intend to trick anyone. But the person who take it for control you decides that they're going to use it for trick you. The person who write Humpty Dumpty that on the wall was not meant, he was not writing it to trick no one, but writing it out of the British, the English revolution, what them call it, Civil War, and knowing say the Humpty Dumpty is the gun them where they upon the walls them, and every time them fire the gun drop off of the wall. Him give the name to the gun them Humpty Dumpty, and him say Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty together again. It's a gun them a talk about. It's not no egg. It's a gun them talking about during Civil War in England. It's not no egg. And every time the gun drop off, when the gun drop off, them cannon gun, the king's men couldn't put the gun. The king's men couldn't put the gun back one way there. So the man who write it, him know what him did I talk about. But we who look on the picture and the design of the picture, we see this egg sit down on the wall, and every time we say the thing, it drop off of the wall, and all the kings all couldn't put something together again. And the same way the whole heap of nursery rhymes them have meaning to them. But because we're not presented with the information. The information is not presented to us. So our mind become twisted in an ignorant situation where we continue picture two egg on a wall. And no go so. But if we tell you about Brother Nancy, you know outright say Brother Nancy not real. So Brother Nancy not real. Brother Nancy is a way the Asante people use to tell stories in them community that transcend generation to generation. Black people didn't know that. No spider don't talk. But guess what? Them have black people, I believe, say, a woman stand up in her garden with a snake, attack to the snake. And you can't question that. Because you don't have no information to say different. You don't have no information to turn. Where people say, the snake deceive the woman. It's lie them I tell. According to the book, it shows you say the snake never deceived nothing. Because the snake, the actual snake tell her something where God did tell them, say they must know. Them said, you see all of the tree that you're going to eat it. But you see this tree, don't eat it. This is the tree of good and evil, and knowledge and power. So, of all the trees you shall eat, but of this one you must not. Or the man him tell that, or the woman. Or the man him tell that. And them are black people for centuries into slavery. A tribe picture. And them make it so nice for you and easy for you that them paint a picture of it. Them paint a picture of it and you can't think about it no other way. Two white people naked, half naked, with leaf around them, and a snake we can run an American apple tree, and you say, this is Adam and Eve, and this is a snake, and the snake attack. The snake say, you eat the fruit because God knows, say, if you eat the fruit, you will be like him, knowing good and evil. Him knows that you're going to become like him. Black people, why would God make a tree of knowledge and him make man and want to keep man in a subservient position where him don't have no knowledge? It's just God alone supposed to have the knowledge. Why would God want you to walk up and down without knowledge? I know the Christian have argument about that. But then him say, him going to run man out of the garden unless man become like one of us. Him go back on the us again, you know. Unless man become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Make we chase him out of the garden and put a flaming sword that him can't come back in there. Because him say now, him going to put curse upon the woman and upon the man. I wonder if I say anything wrong yet. want to say anything wrong, because I don't want to say nothing wrong, you know. I said to you that these story that these people make up and designed to maintain them supremacy over other people, because that's all it is doing. It is maintaining supremacy over other people who is ignorant and who was enslaved, and get domiciled on these farmer slave plantation island. We get domiciled in our consciousness and our thinking, and we can't behave no different because we can't think. And if we start to think, we feel so we are get wicked and we are get evil and we are get what we are think for. That's what them don't want you to do. Them don't want you to think. Them don't want you to think, brethren and sisters. Them want you to be staying how you is. And that means, you know, them say turn right, you turn right. Turn left, you turn left. And them give you all the things, them education, where you're supposed to have all the education, them. And the education become indoctrination. So you have to serve them. And you have to look through their eyes to see the reality. And you have to wear them clothes. And you have to eat them food. And you have to have sex like them. And then bring certain things in front of you. And just wave it in front of you. And then you lose yourself. Because no, you don't have no self, so you can't get confident. Because Marcus Garvey said, confidence in self. If you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. And when we look on black people's situation now, me not talk about in Kemet, when we used to build pyramids and things. We are talking about now, when we look on Africa now, when we look on the past them and the preacher them in Africa, where them are do to the people them, and the people them allow them to do it, because the people them is ignorant and them don't have information. When we're looking at Jamaica, and so the past and the preacher do, because the people them don't have the information, they are led like sheep. Sheep don't have no sense. Sheep don't have no sense. I don't want to be a sheep, and I don't want to have no shepherd. I am not a sheep. But when we look at where them do to we, and then them turn around the religion into politics. Them turn the religion into politics. So the politics and the religion is dead to forget with soul, forget with self, imbalance. So when we are walk, we can't walk straight. We walk like drunken man, drunken woman. And then we sip them tea and them liquor and all the things them that they bring to it, them fast food and all the things them. And then we get so dehumanized. We can't say we're humanity. Because we accept for them way and for them understanding of self. So when you look around, we know things look good over there, so, but it look bad over there, so. The same thing when you love over there, so you don't like it over there, so. And you get confused because there's so much things that spin round you and round you and round you and round you. And you keep going round and coming back to the same position where you start out and you realize you keep doing the same thing the same way all the while and expect a different result. 1 + 1 = 3. Therefore, 1 + 4 can't give you 5. Illogical. If you start the premise that 1 + 1 = 3, the end result must turn out wrong. So these guys give you this thing. Don't question it. Don't think about it. Just manifest what it say. And we look upon them and we see them. And we see the more we behave like them, is the more we lose ourselves. And we listen to the things them are going, where them are do. The pedophiles and them go out with them pedophile thinking and them pedophile behaviors, but we still hang on upon them tail. The men of cloth, we still hold on upon it, and we hope say one day there's a man that is going to come down out of the sky for help black people, to liberate themselves. But guess what? The image of the man who will come out of the sky look like the same man who have commit pedophiles. The same man who have raped children them. This is the cutting edge on IRFM. Yeah, this is the cutting edge on IRFM. Why I love Siko from Frontline Books in Chicago. And as I speak about the books them, I remember that he was one of the main distributor for books about us, Bookshop. I mean, we used to buy books from him to sell, and a lot of the books them that we had in the store come from film place. So we want to hail up Siko who they are. Yes, we hope to see you a Montego Bay. Yes, so I don't know. You know, like how we are talking about the book now, maybe him can go back and send some to me to see. Because I know as I talk about it, people going to ask me which part of the book there. But sometimes you can't even Google the things them now still. Yeah, sometimes it's very easy for just put in Apocrypha in the Google section, and you see all of the books them were Apocrypha including a lot of the things when you hear about Maccabees, you have first, second, third, and fourth Maccabees. Yes, you have a whole heap of books. You have books in the New Testament we cut off, with them cut out. Yeah, because it has said certain things, them cut it out. And most of the book them will elevate woman, cut out too. Most of the book them will elevate woman, cut out. That's why them demonize the first wife of Adam, demonize her and cut her out of the whole thing and say it was not inspired by God. Them pedophiles are going to decide what is inspired by God and what is not inspired by God. That is how it go. You see, them decide. Remember, we play a tape. For years we have played the tape. We played that tape about 4 times in the 20 years with their son. We are known named Sister Charlotte was giving a testimony about her life inside of the convent. Yes. The woman was talking about life inside of the convent. You have an ex-brother. I don't remember what his name. He was a deacon or a bishop in the church. Same Roman Catholic church. And them start to come out. And you have a whole heap of that. But now more and more people, except black people. And it's ironical. It's ironical that now black people start to claim authorship of a book that them don't know about. You know, them don't know about it. Because all of these things were supposed to be happening in Africa. Because the same land them call Palestine now, Israel, is in Africa. All of them things are supposed to happen in Africa. But we're going to ask, if we know it was happening in Africa, was it an African writing them, these books? That is the question, you know. Were these books written by African people? Or was it written by people who did recognize them African consciousness? Or it was written by white people or some Negroes that was using European logics to define themselves? Or maybe it could have just been written by people who just couldn't explain certain things differently and just use it to explain what them say and what them believe in. And we come take some things that happened 4,000 years ago and jam it in our head. And I try cut off with foot to fit the shoes. In other words, we are trying to make what happened thousands of years ago be so relevant to now. That we see men and murder people and chop off people's head to maintain the authenticity of what them read and never experience. People chop off people's head. Both Christians and Muslims. For believe or don't believe. And when we look on the church with the most followers, them says over 1 billion followers, the Roman Catholic Church have. It really influence. As a matter of fact, the Vatican City is the smallest country in the world and one of the richest country in the world. Yeah, the Vatican City is a country, even though it lies within Rome, which Rome relies in Italy. But the Vatican City is a country. And it is one of the richest countries in the world. And it have over 1 billion followers who don't live in the country itself. Because 1 billion people can't hold in the city. Because we go there already. We went to the Vatican City to observe the Sunday when the Pope coming out on him veranda, what them call it. And I give him Sunday service to thousands of people. I'm going to tell a story already that when me and the musician them down there, it's amazing. All the camera them from all over just turn right round pan we. Because we did look strange. Yeah, we did look strange amongst all these people. So it leads to the next thing now. Because a lot of youth in Jamaica have the experience of being molested by fathers in Jamaica. But because we are so closeted in Jamaica, it's very difficult for a youth come say, watch out, father did molest me, you know. That's not going to come and talk the story every day, say, oh, the father boxed me. Because I never have my mates to play baseball. I just figure it over me, yeah, the man shot me a box, I say, heaven, power, earth, to rotted. A whole heap of youth in Jamaica have been demoralized by the church, but them can't come out and say it. Sometimes all the family don't want them say it because the family is so up there that them no want that come out. So the child suffer. The child suffer. And in the name of Jesus, them keep suffering because one day soon and very soon the Lord will come for him earth and wipe away all sins and set the captive free. We don't go and wait because we see generations of black people come and salvation that we search for. We are open for it, and it is good to hope. But hope is not something that you're sure of. Because what we see on earth now, the people them who make you believe in this hope, they are having a wonderful time on earth. And them tell you, say, don't worry, your one will come when you die. Oh, we can't think. Oh, gosh, man, oh, we can't think. Oh, we can't see it. There's something wrong. Something wrong with that philosophy. That here you are talking about, yes, you know, we suffer today, but the Lord is preparing a place that where he is, we shall be also. Where the hell you going to be more than in your gaffum? Is it like your coffee you going to go? And them have your grandmother, your great grandmother, your mother sit down and open and praise that this great thing will happen. And you believe it, and you want to believe it too. But when you look at the situation, you realize about the earth now the world now get no better. There are more suffering, and the people them who can stop the suffering, not stopping it, and through them now stop it now, you say you leave your everything to God. And the more you pray to God, is the more you suffer. Look at that little girl there. Look at the little girl. 8-year-old. And how much of them dead since the year start? How much people murdered? Quite a few people get murdered since the year start, you know. When I ever talk about how much killing are going on now. I could talk about the ones them where get raped and fine in a bush and trash and all sort of thing. Them little girls there. I mean, the man them will do these things. Which part? Where you tell me say no, she did a better place. You think that she did one dead? You think them little people did one dead at them early age? And you see him one come and tell you, say, but look how them get rid of the picnic. She could have come be the prime minister. She could have come be a doctor, come save life and them thing. And you want to tell me that she did a better place now? What kind of thinking that? What manner of thinking is that? When the mother cry and the father cry and our friend them run her ball and you there and say, don't worry, she gone to a better place. Gone to which better place? Which better place? These people who say that them don't want to go to that place. Because if that is what, why to send her to a better place? They must go jump off a skyscraper and reach at the better place. It's lie them I tell you no. No, sister, I lie them I tell you no. You know, sister, them I tell you no. You know, sister, it's wickedness, one pack of wickedness, one pack of wickedness, one pack of wickedness. You know, it's pure wickedness. And the wickedness, the wicked people, them are justify them wickedness by make you believe, say, it's a good thing to think like them. They make you think like them and then become now to make you feel say boy right is a wicked. But them not believe what them I tell you. Them don't believe it. Them don't believe what them I sell you. Them don't believe it. Look how much billions of dollars them evangelists are making in America, both black and white. Because them realize that there is a earning power in that. So them can come sell you anything. As long as they mention Jesus in front of you and mention the Bible in front of you, them can give you or sell you anything. And meanwhile, you try to see if you can buy it. Your sufferation continue. The sufferation continue. And them, when you look on them, you tell me say, these people will sit down in front of those evangelists and I give them money to the evangelists and they looking with them to the evangelists have a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, a plane of fly. You tell me say them people they wouldn't like that for themselves. You think that them people they are thinking of them and say, well, Parson, Reverend, this have that, but we will get our own in heaven. You think of that them I think. You think the youth will sit down in the church and see the person with him pretty wife dressed up in the most gold kid and them wife in the most this and that and she can drive and go. You think that the little youth in the church I think say, well, that is so pass, but there's better reward in heaven for me. Who am I going to tell that? When them look on film situation and the mother and them father have suffered so much. And them granny has suffer, and him granny dead poor, and him great grandmother dead poor, and him mother look like she was dead poor too, and you go tell him, say, boy, I must wait. Just have faith. I just have faith. One day soon, he will come and he will take you out of all of this thing. One day soon, you're going to dead. That is what going to happen. You are going to die. And the guy who's telling you that never dead yet, him don't know what happened when you're dead. And come back. And I can see what happened when somebody dead. I can see that. All when work for is inherited by somebody who is alive. All when him work for in his life is inherited by something, somebody who never work for it most of the time. All the house and the bank account, and sometimes the people who inherit it never did work for nothing, and them just come get it. And you did their thing, say, okay, this and this and that, and that. Warm to the earth. The Pope say, not this Pope, not Benedict, the other Pope named Pope John Paul say, heaven and earth is not a heaven and hell is not a physical place. The Pope said that. The heaven and earth is not a physical place. I agree with him. I agree with him. But you see, when he put you in the Bible now, he will show you, say, heaven is where the Lord there, and hell is where Satan there. So you must choose between hell and heaven. And one day soon, very soon, if you do the right things them, where him tell you if you do, you will go to heaven. So you tell me, say, no. This man who molest the children them, for years he might do it. And all of these people who molest the children them, and the years them are going to do it. He might go sit down. Wow. He might go sit down with the little girl when pedophile with, or the little youth when pedophile. If him do that, and he might tell you, say, one day soon, the Lord will come and take us away. And him, I do that. But him believe, say, one day soon, the Lord will come and carry him go to heaven. So you must prepare yourself for go there too. Which part the little girl there? Which part the little boy there where he molest? Where the little boy and the little girl where he molest there? This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Yeah.
Hey, Muta.
Where are you, man?
I'm blessed.
You know, so me that try remember which part of the place that tonight you have to tell the people, man. Is that a good thing you call, man?
Man.
Or we call you. We call you.
Yes.
We call you, yeah.
That's it, go.
Yeah.
But, you know, Lilliput, and, you know, the Montego Bay thing they go on, it's like people in the year about Lilliput, they think away.
Them think what?
Away, they think, they don't feel too...
Yeah, comfortable.
The vibes not right.
Yeah.
So we want reprogram it, we want put it out at the Trelawney Stadium in another day.
So you're not do it again?
Yeah, the Saturday night right here in the holiday, people feel away. I'm getting a lot of rejection.
Okay.
So that's why I sent you a WhatsApp earlier in the evening.
No, I don't see the WhatsApp. I don't see that. All right. So, all right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Montego Bay, especially those them kind of place there, like in the area. In a bad thing about when you hear a name, you just get turned off.
Yeah, people say that still for true.
Man.
All right, sir.
So I mean, thanks to the boys and and I respect all the people who inquire and then they all feel away. But we're working on the Trelawney Stadium, so it's a more friendly environment right now.
All right, give thanks, yeah.
Thank you very much, Muta.
Yes, okay. So we're not going to so again Saturday. We're not going to so again. I can't tell you where Asta Black said we're not going to be there. So make we continue this journey. So here we go. You know, when we're a child, we hear people cuss Rasta, Rasta this, Rasta that. And the weirdest thing with them are cuss Rasta about is the culture them don't like. The ear, the smoking of the ganja, or we are eat and them things, them never like it. So we guilty if you have ear we don't look like for them ear. We guilty if you smoke ganja and use ganja because it's illegal. And we guilty if you eat a certain way, but we not eat this and we not eat that. And we guilty if you look on a man and I say, "My the Almighty." That is where we're guilty of. And we was the worst set of people in a Jamaica. But guess what? We never have the information. The information about what they themselves know and believe in. I think them know and believe. We never have the information to say how them come to these things. So we go find out. We go find out about the things them that them claim to them know and them believe in her. And when we put where we believe in her with what them believe in her, and we realize about what them believe in her control the whole Western world. And where we believe in her, we control we. It's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. Years ago, we were in Paris, and the sister who carry go up there say, if we want to go tour Paris, and I say, you know, say, when me a youth, me go watch a movie named The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And my mother used to tell me this story about the Hunchback of Notre Dame. This Hunchback man lived in the tower of Notre Dame. And his story is that pretty girl like him have, if you don't have Hunchback, it's like the beast. It's like Beauty and the Beast. So I say, you know something, all the way I hear my mother talk about Hunchback of Notre Dame. I want to go to Notre Dame. I want to go there. And we go down there and go visit, go in at the place, go look on this, go look on that. Because you have to pay all money to go, you know, just to go visit the architecture, design, and this and that. And yeah, we're going there. That is one of my experience in Europe. Just like how I'm a bridge in Desi Jones, walk out the whole of Rome and go in at the Colosseum where them say this emperor and thousands of people used to sit down in there and watch the lion them and eat the Christian them. We're going there. We're going at the forum where democracy was created and where them killed Caesar, Brutus and all of these people, where Julius Caesar them used to sit down. We're going at them place there. Walk it too. Because not far. Them places not far like what we think in our Bible days. You have to go this and go this so. But yesterday we hear said Notre Dame catch a fire and more side burn down. We're not more side, but a main part of it. Now Notre Dame is like a statue that lick down the statue, or somebody that lick down the Statue of Liberty. Or in a Paris where you have this anytime you see this tower, Eiffel Tower, it represents Paris. Just like how when you see the Statue of Liberty, it represents New York. You have certain little landmark where represent certain place. You see this big Jesus statue up on the top of the mountain, you know, say Brazil that. Sao Paulo. But we hear say the place, the 800-year-old structure get burned. Serious damage to them, so it will take decades. Say, if they want to put it back like how it was, it will take decades. The president say, 5 years. Everybody will laugh of time. But believe you me, black people, listen to this. Between yesterday and now, in wanting to build back that 800-year-old building, they have collected over $1 billion. You hear me I say? They have collected over $1 billion to put towards the rebuilding of this 800-year-old building. When you look at the people them around the building, some of them are bawl, are cry. Can't believe say this landmark, this magnificent architecture burned down. And them start talk about all the man passing and talk about divine intervention now, because the candle them in there never out. When the place are burned, the candle them never out. And a man go save the crown of thorns. How much people also know what the crown of thorns is? It is said that this crown of thorns is the thing that was upon Jesus' head. It was in the Notre Dame Cathedral. Not only that, them say a portion of the cross is in that building. We went to Israel and we went into where the sepulchre is, or was, or supposed to have been. And when we go around to where the Armenian church and the Ethiopian Orthodox church is, they are telling us that underneath the structure is a portion of the cross. There is a place in Europe, I think, I don't remember if it's Scotland, where them say there's a portion of the cross. And also that the cup that Jesus Christ hold and said, this is my blood, drink. Nothing like that never happened. But them say this cup is somewhere in Europe. And the Ethiopians claim that in Axum, in the church of Mary, St. Mary, the Ark of the Covenant resting at that place. The Ark of the Covenant. So you have religious thing there and religious thing here and religious thing almost everywhere. And the people is held in subjugation to all of these symbols and all of these doctrines of hope and salvation. And yet them life is miserable. Them life miserable. And the people them is stunted. You know, it's like a man inject you and you just can't move. And when you think you move, you walk backwards. You know, if you take one step forward and 2 steps back, you're not taking no step forward because you don't know what is the step to move, to carry you forward. because you are so entrenched and engulfed into another man thinking that when somebody else come and say, but you not go forward, you say, what you talk about? I hears me go forward, you know, she say, me move. Not knowing, say, yeah, of course you did a move, but you move back ways. Because you hear what them do. You hear what them do now. And it's a serious thing. They make you turn around to where you're not supposed to go. In other words, instead of your back turn to the place where you're not supposed to go, they make your face turn to the place where you're not supposed to go. So when you walk, your feet say you go forward. What a dilemma. What a dilemma. So when you say you go backward, you know, usually when you go backward, your back turn to the place. So you say backward. And you're taking steps backward. But them turn you around and make your face turn to where your back's supposed to be. And you're walking straight ahead and things say, it's not backward you go. Because your face turn to the place where you move. It's a madness. A total madness. Yes, so you know, people. All of them can go and talk. But you say, you have a whole people that them not label themselves. But you say, me label myself. Because I don't want a man coming at the store and I look for a silk pants and go buy polyester. You have to label that. Silk or polyester. I don't want a man go in a store and I look for apple and take the orange up and say apple that. You have to label that. So you see now, we're here upon this program. Emperor Haile Selassie, we are say. But guess what now? You see, if Uno want come dispute with me, I say, in terms of my understanding of Haile Selassie, nobody bring white people logics come show me. You have to go define that outside of European logics. Because European logics can't tell me about my understanding and experience, because I'm not using that to label myself. We are Rasta. Make the world know that. Rastafari is where we label myself. We label that. That's my label. We don't have an argument about we don't label yourself. Now label yourself. Anybody tell you that's true, they're not sure. A Rastafari we are work with. And if you want to come bring that and I dispute it, you go and dispute it because why you dispute it? You dispute it based upon your understanding of where white people tell you. That means say, well, white people tell you, say, it can't right what we are saying. When we talk about Haile Selassie, it's foolishness according to the logics when we hear people come with. And me I say, but I know that me I say when me I say that, so why don't I come with that? Because I done past that already. I mean, know to the logics there is null and void as it relates to my understanding self. So me doing the argument about nah label this and nah label that. Me label. Don't look for me no different. Look for me as a Rasta man. Because the Rasta man is what define me and we recognize, come say what you know. Me can't use what them give me for come put for myself yes or no. In other words, me can't go say me a Christian. Me can't say it. I mean, you know, Rasta man I tell them a Christian, it just blow my mind when me hear Rasta say I'm a Christian. Or Rasta become Christian. Or you come to being a Christian. Because you use European way of understanding yourself and things as yourself, you understand when you say you're Christian. Why must I use Christianity to validate my perception of Haile Selassie? I never say that, and I never use that. Because I move from that. I can't go move from that and come collapse myself in that again. So I label myself. So if anybody want listen to me out there, so just know that. Just know that. You know, we are label ourselves. Because it's important that we label ourselves. That you don't get mixed up. You don't get mixed up in this and mixed up in that. We don't want to get mixed up. We don't want a man confused say me a Christian. I mean, I use Christian philosophy to define Rastafari philosophy, even though most men do that. Because I see where all that create confusion. All that create confusion. And if me look on how the Bible reach Ethiopia. How the Bible, you know, I go play an interview where me and Plano they do in the studio, you know. We play back the interview there. And Plano is a man where know the Bible inside out, steep into it. But he also recognize certain things. And as a brother, you have to listen to carefully. Carefully, you have to listen to him. Because sometimes it might sound like him gone over there, so when I'm supposed to over there, so but him know what he must say. One of them days I go and play it. Maybe I play it when I'm not there at all because it's so long. But the argument is that labeling is not a bad thing. I can't to me hear someone that say them don't want to label themselves. Decide them don't want to label themselves that. It's confusion make you say that. It's insecurity in your surety. Because we approach all different philosophies and opinions, all kind of spiritual awakening from anywhere it come from. But we now go embrace what enslave we. We now go embrace it. And if it enslave me know it. I may say my great-grandparents and great-grandparents and great-grandparents and most of my friends and older friends get caught into that label. So I have no sympathy. No sympathy for what these evangelists does or these politicians do, because two of them is at the same tree. The same tree them come from. One influence the other. The church influences the state. The church influences the state. Check it and you will see that. Yet still, the church is an organization that maintain white supremacy. The church maintain white supremacy and make you so docile and so ignorant that they make you say things against yourself and don't even know that you are saying it against yourself because you are traumatized by thousands of years of madness that is keep recirculating and regurgitating over and over and over. You keep regurgitating it that you stop vomit it up. And you're supposed to vomit it up for a long time. Like bad food. But you drink it like vintage wine. And somehow it go through the crack and get loose of it. But most of us stay in there and get perverted like the preacher and the politician, the enemies of the people. Enemies of the people. So, I'm going to stop talking about this thing, but the reason why we bring up all that conversation tonight about Lilith and Adam and Eve and the church and things is because of Notre Dame and Notre Dame were just burned. Because in that church, or even not at the church, but when we was going into the church, which I never did even understand until I reflect back on the book them I did I sell in my shop, that on the wall of the entrance is Adam and Eve and Lilith. When we say, it's connection we are making, I show you how it connected. How the tape where we play about the past and the children them. How the Bible set out Lilith where most people never hear about. But on the wall of the Notre Dame, the same church where you hear burn in Paris, there is a sculpture, sculpture of Adam, Eve, and Lilith. And Lilith supposed to be the bad person in the story. Because the writer did write it to show you that Lilith was a strong and powerful woman. But the church should have removed that. Yeah, man. You don't believe what I say? Well, you go ask your pastor. That is the problem now. You go ask your pastor, and the pastor going to say, where you get that from? And you're going to say, Muta, you hear it with, a Muta, you hear it. You're going to tell him, say, you hear it from Mutabaruka, and say, that damn idiot, fool boy. You mean say, actually, I listen to that boy there to come bring conversation to me. Don't ask your pastor. But go find the book when I tell you about. Or, as I said before, maybe it's easier if you Google it. Because it's not the first to talk about this thing here. It's not the first to talk about it. But go Google it. And then go do some research on how Lilith come in our story. Where this name where Mutabaruka mentioned come from, where you never hear about yet. In all of your biblical knowledge and your biblical this, you'll never hear that yet. So where you get that from? May I tell you? The listener them, if you go to your pastor and ask him if you ever hear about Lilith. Don't mention my name. Because right away I'm not going to answer you. Just ask him if you ever hear about Lilith. Because she is mentioned in the Bible. She's mentioned in the Bible. She's mentioned in the Bible. She's mentioned in the Jewish books. But she is demonized. Because the writers who originally wrote it as a strong woman who defy all the different powers. So them demonize her, and so she become a demon. A demon, just like how Delilah become like a weird woman, or Jezebel. And you have to look and figure out, why is it, read the Bible, and you will say, why is it that Delilah is so, when somebody say you come like Delilah, and when I say, go here Jezebel, and when you say that to somebody, them look down upon it and say, who you call Delilah, who you call Jezebel? Well, I will people never hear about Lilith. So them never say, who you call Lilith, but if them only knew the story surrounding that, they would say, who you call Lilith? Because these women is demonized according to the mythology of what we call the Bible, the Old Testament, the Jewish book. The Jewish book, the Jewish mythological book. That is what it is. It's a mythological book. It is not real. Already, if something starts wrong, it can't end up right. If there's something that starts wrong, it can't end up right. And we say a whole heap of things. Whole heap of things. Unicorn. Unicorn is a Greek mythological figure. A horse with an horn in the middle of him head. But guess what? Them want to explain it out and says a rhino. You see how them stay. They want to explain it out and says a rhinoceros. We know rhinoceros in Africa. Them know unicorn. And them put the unicorn in the Bible. You don't believe me, it's a unicorn in the Bible. Everybody knows a unicorn is a mythological animal. It's a white horse, just like Pegasus. There's no flying horse. Pegasus is a mythology. Not even a mythology. Yeah, well, we call it mythology. The flying horse named Pegasus. The hotel named Pegasus is named after that flying horse, or for that flying horse. It's called Pegasus. And Pegasus is a flying horse. In mythology, you will see a white horse with wings. In mythology, you will see the unicorn. The unicorn is a white horse with an horn in him forehead. Now, after them put that in the Bible now, and we have to work it out and say, but wait, something wrong here, so our mythological figure in the Bible. Them come now and show you, say, but wait there. In those days, you know, it was a unicorn was really actually a rhinoceros. Yes, so you know, it's a different face coming here. Watch about. Watch out, like surprise in a virgin. Where are they?
No,
where are they?
No work, man.
So, work. Where me relieve?
Relieve, man.
Where him in the bathroom? Or you relieve him in the bathroom?
No,
hey, Matrix, where them man? How old is them bring inside up on my brethren?
Teddy the Vibes Energy.
Teddy the Vibes Energy.
Teddy the Vibes Energy.
All right, so you Teddy the Vibes Energy. I say no, but me I say, I know you're coming the wrong day. I know you're a day today.
No, basically, Matrix, I got, remember say, bones up on the seas, you know.
Bones up on the seas too?
Bones up on the seas.
Then that's some of the people at RFM. That's why the people them couldn't sell out them things because RFM people they on it. Yeah, I think. And that's a go on.
Yeah, man. So
bones out there.
Yeah, out there. You know, a couple of people out there. So we are going to see.
So Matrix did it too?
No, we can Matrix. I go to film shift, you know. So me I go to Matrix shift. You understand?
No, me not understand.
Yeah.
Matrix are the your shift and you are the Matrix shift?
No, man. Matrix I go to bone shift. So Matrix I go come relieve me from 6 o'clock. So I go to 6 to...
So who are going to bone? Who for shift bones are going to do? Bones not have no shift. Anyway, give thanks for safe still. Because the only time you see out a road, where you do? Outside, what they call them? Outside road, OB. Outside road cars. So you have to know, give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time and energy, give thanks. We will be back here at 2 o'clock. Different program, the Stepping Razor, the Art of War. So we are going to go back with this tune now where we play way down at the bottom here. Some people say, just give it a little spin it again, and we will play it again. It's Buju Banton.